say welcome to Bowmar Bowhunting and then you take over. Okay? Alright, here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Bowmar Bowhunting.
That's a cat. Today we are going to be doing a Q&A. We made a post on Instagram yesterday and just asked you guys for questions regarding personal life hunting, business, fitness, the whole 9 yards. And so we went through all of them and have selected the ones we are going to answer today on this video. And if we didn't answer your questions on this, we promise that we will answer them on the actual post so you don't go
unless they're ridiculous.
Unless they're stupid.
Then they go unanswered.
Yep. And you might see a few cats running around amok. We have several, so...
Of course, you turn on the camera and they decide to go crazy.
Yeah,
so.
Don't be... Look at her. She's like a frog. Okay. So our first question is from Kian, and he asked, will you ever go up to Alaska to hunt?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of big things in Alaska, so we definitely plan on doing that. With big things come big price tags, so because we do fund all of our own hunts, it does get pricey, so we do have to budget our stuff.
Yeah, so if Kian wants to fund us to go up to Alaska.
Yeah, sponsor us to go up there.
Yeah.
We'd love to foot a grizzly bear hunt on you.
The next question comes from Joe. He asks, what difference do you notice with the bows between the Redworks compared to the Defiants after having ample shooting time with both?
Great question.
I know for me, I can draw almost 3 pounds more with the Redworks, just the way the cans are set up.
The draw cycle's smoother.
Yeah, and I really like the grip on it. So Hoyt's obviously always had really good grips, but I really like the factory one that is on the Redworks.
For me personally, I haven't had ample time to shoot the new Redworks, but what I have noticed straight out of the gate is how much faster it is.
Yeah.
So shooting the same arrow, same draw weight, and actually, honestly, about 2 pounds less. I'm shooting 304 is what I got today, and in the Defiant I was shooting 290, which both are very fast for complete hunting setups with a 515 grain arrow. So again, getting 304 out of my setup is crazy with a 514 grain arrow, which is a normal Easton axis shaft with 50 grains of brass at the front with a 100 grain tip, and I'm still getting 304. So that's my biggest thing. Shootability seems to be great, and I also noticed balance on the bow is a lot better because they've actually designed a hole to be able to screw in an offset stabilizer, which for Sarah and I, we both shoot offset stabilizers. So
yep.
The fact that we didn't have to modify the bow anyway, there was a spot right for that stabilizer to screw into, it made a big difference for us too. So again, there's a lot of YouTube videos that do comparisons between the two. So feel free to watch those, but that's our personal opinion. Our cats are going crazy.
The next question from Huntress Kelsey, what is your favorite animal to hunt, and then what is your favorite meal to cook with that animal? So that is a tough one. Well, my favorite animal to hunt is turkeys. I know some people are weirded out by that, and I would say my favorite recipe...
Our cats are going crazy.
They are. They're fine.
They're so distracting.
They'll chill out. And then I would...
chill out when I throw a pillow at them.
No. Stop.
Listen, no more cats.
Okay, so Huntress Kelsey asks, what is your favorite animal to hunt, and then what is your favorite meal to cook with that animal? So
that's a good question.
I would say that my favorite animal to hunt is turkeys. I've answered that several times, and a lot of people know that. But I would say my favorite meal to cook with turkeys, I like to put the turkey breasts in the crock pot with enough water just to cover the breast, and then some taco seasoning meat, and then in a few hours it becomes like pulled turkey, and it makes really good tacos, really good nachos, really good to eat plain. We have a ton of recipes too in my cookbook.
Still can't believe after chasing whitetails for as many years as we have that turkeys are still number one.
Still number one.
Well, whitetails are still number one in my heart just because I feel like they're the hardest. And a lot of you, again, elk hunting is very hard and I enjoy elk hunting, but whitetails, there's just something special about picking out one specific animal and then hunting that thing until you get it. And sometimes that takes years. And I know that's not really the case with elk and a lot of other animals. It's hard to follow that same animal for years and years, and a lot of people do, but for me personally, I'm a whitetail guy. I love whitetails. I love mule deer, but if I had to pick one animal to hunt the rest of my life, I think it'd be a whitetail.
Then what's your favorite meal?
Oh my gosh, you make so many good things. Probably that venison stromboli you made.
Oh, the stromboli.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Recipe book over here, she has that recipe in there. It's like pizza with deer. It's delicious.
It is delicious, and it's very easy.
That is nice.
Cookbook plug. Next question comes from Blalock, 1955.
Blalock?
That's what it says. How often do you hunt the same stand? I feel like I'm overusing mine and spooking the deer.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to answer that or me?
You can. You had a good answer for this.
Well, again, overhunting a stand is very, very common, especially if you only have one property to hunt. So if that's the spot where your big buck's showing up, it's kind of hard not to hunt that stand, right? Well, for you guys and for that guy and everyone else that's had this problem, most of the time if you're spooking game and deer stop showing up, you know, whenever you start hunting, it's because your access is flawed. So, and what I mean by that is the way you get to and from your stand is not good. So you need to either move your stand or clear a path. I know a lot of people don't do that. Sarah and I will rake a trail straight to the tree or our blind to make sure that there is no possible way that we could step on any sticks, touch any branch, any way to make any noise, no crunching of leaves, nothing, all the way to the tree. So a lot of people make a lot of noise getting to the stand and they don't think that'll be intrusive to the animals nearby, but it is. So again, access is key. Another point, make sure you don't hunt that stand with the wrong wind. I know it's opening day and you're like, I want to go, we gotta go hunting, and it's the wrong wind and you're like, who cares? Yeah, you should care because that's gonna ruin your spot. So again, make sure you only hunt it with the right conditions, and if you have good access, you can hunt that stand as much as you want as long as you're taking care of scent control. If you're using that stand as a porta potty and peeing all over the place, every time you're in there multiple times, I mean, of course that spot's gonna get ruined, you know, so again.
Odd mental image, okay.
What, turn it into a porta potty? Yeah. I mean, it's fine to pee out of the stand because the human scent wears off of the urine, you know, after about 20 minutes. But if you do that on a regular basis, they're smelling another dominant predator in that area. And they're like, what the heck's going on here, you know? So they might move out of the way.
Title of this video will be Don't Turn Your Tree Stand into a Porta Potty. Okay. The next question, what is the best way for an average hunter to be able to hunt North American big game without breaking the bank?
I wonder if they mean like in their state or like all over.
Well, I mean, all over is going to be expensive. Out-of-state tags are just expensive. That's just kind of the nature of the beast.
It breaks the bank.
Yeah.
Hunting is not cheap.
Not at all. But if you live in a state where you can hunt multiple species, that's obviously very inexpensive way to do that. If you can find friends with land, that way you don't have to pay an outfitter, or if you just do public land hunting. There's a lot of public land. There's so many YouTube videos out there that do public land hunting.
And knocking doors, guys, is a lost cause. I feel like so many people are afraid of rejection. They're not going to knock doors. I'm telling you, if you knock 10 doors and you're dressed nice, not in camouflage,
Don't be a hillbilly.
Don't look like a hillbilly, even if you are. I know I'm a hillbilly, but I don't dress like a hillbilly when I go and talk to somebody. You know, I try to dress nice. I dress
the way that you would want someone to be knocking on your door.
Exactly. So again, dress nice, you know, be polite, you know, say whatever you want to say. You can rehearse and practice and make it a goal to knock 10 doors. And if you knock 10 doors, you'll probably get one new spot. That's typically what I found is you get one new spot to every 10 doors you knock, because most people are going to say no. So if you know those numbers and you want 3 new spots, you better knock 30 doors.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. It's not fun, but it will work. You know, it's just a numbers game. So yeah, I think that's a good answer to his property, because you don't have to pay for leases. I'm knock doors and just say I would love a place to be able to harvest a couple deer a year. Okay, it's not bad.
And if you have a child or a wife to take with you,
that helps.
That helps.
Being only an archery hunter also will help. I'm not taking guns on your place. I just want a place to archery hunt.
Okay, let's not have these answers be that long. We have like 20 more. Okay.
Who cares?
How do I kill my buck if we... Oh, sorry. Bro Holland 11. How do I kill my buck if he won't move in daylight when I'm there? He is coming in to feed, but not when I'm there. I need the most helpful tips.
Again, going back to that access, that guy's probably walking in incorrectly. He's probably bumping them on the way in or on the way out. He's crossing his trail that he comes into probably on the way in or way out. Either way, that deer knows that guy is there on his axis. So again, fix your axis. If you're hunting over feed, move the feed. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. Make it easy to get in and get out of that spot. And if he's not breaking daylight, you might not be in his core area. You know, so a good idea would be to move a couple spots around, maybe set up some other cameras and see if you start getting in daylight in any of those other spots. But don't set up 6 cameras and check it every day, because then he's gonna leave the whole area. So cell cams really make a big difference in situations like this. Or if you're gonna do cameras, check them once a week.
Once a week. Okay. Cody Haynes, 33. What kind of meals do you bring into the woods to help maintain in the gym? So if we are hunting out of state, it's kind of just understood from us that we aren't looking to quote unquote make gains while we're traveling. Right. That's next to impossible, especially when you don't have access to a gym or you're sitting all day, those kind of things. So what we do for our morning sits is we will actually fast the entire morning sit.
Pretty much intermittent fast the whole entire hunting trip.
Yeah, so if we sit till noon, we don't eat until noon, then we have a pretty large size meal. Instead of eating at 4 in the morning when you wake up, having to pack 2 or 3 snacks and then eating again at noon, we just fast the whole time. And that might be a shock to your system at first, but it actually really helps. And it really helps to not gain weight while you are traveling or while you're hunting. But now,
eating gas station food all the time. And also intermittent fasting will be helpful. I mean, that's another topic we could probably get into on something different. But intermittent fasting, whenever you're in a fasted state, you're not going to get hungry. Yeah. So drink some caffeine in the morning. It'll help suppress.
I do caffeine pills, then I don't have to pee.
And I drink coffee in the morning because I like the thermal effects it gives me. It makes me feel warmer in the tree stand. But then again, it also makes me pee.
And then it turns the tree stand into a porta potty, which you shouldn't do.
There you go.
Caffeine pills are the way to go. But you actually won't get hungry, even though that's weird. But if we're at home and we're gonna sit for 5 or 6 hours, we might bring some venison, little snack sticks,
beef jerky,
sometimes candy. That's once in a blue moon. But Lucas07DK, what's your opinions on scent killer and deer sense / attractants? Well, I can tell you right now that scent control should be your number 1 priority outside of actually hunting. The deer can smell you, they're probably not going to come back. And if they do come back, it's going to be days and or weeks. So scent control should be an absolute number 1 priority. Your clothes, your packs, spray down, use your ozone machine if you have one, any sort of ozone on your clothes before you go out there.
That's a big tip.
Ozone in the truck, spray down when you get out of the truck. And I know a lot of girls, so I actually have gotten, this is kind of a segue. A lot of girls have asked me what makeup, skincare, hair stuff I use that is scent free. I do not use those items. Josh just sprays all this down when we get out there. I don't use scent free stuff. So,
it's my favorite part of the day.
Okay, Amanda_Mac. Making that jump to change your career seems so frightening. The feeling of possibly failure / not making money. How do you make that jump and keep yourself going?
Oh, so that's not even hunting or fitness. That's just business.
Straight business. The biz. Carissa_Coogirl.
Cougar?
Coogirl.
Like cool girl?
I don't know.
Okay.
What 2 tips would you suggest to someone that is brand new to hunting but would like to get into it? I have 2 tips. 1, I just wrote a blog about this, and 2, you should check it out.
Okay.
It's on sarahbowmar.blogspot.com.
Give them a little something.
I went deep. I did 7 different steps, I think. My first tip would be to take your hunter safety course, and hopefully you'll be able to meet someone there. My second tip was if you have a family member or a friend or someone who can take you hunting, go out in the woods and sit with them to see if you like it. My third tip was know the laws in your area. 4th tip would be go to a pro shop, test a bunch of stuff out.
I think that pro shop's a really good place to start, especially if you're a customer there and you buy your equipment there at that pro shop. And a pro shop is a pro archery shop that carries, name brand stuff. Those guys will probably help you out.
Yeah. So there's lots that we went deep into this blog. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. on sarahbowmar.blogspot.com, because I came from never hunting like a day in my life, so I kind of have a different perspective than someone who's been hunting since they were little and they don't necessarily remember not hunting.
Like what it was like to not know how to hunt. Yeah.
Nice Archery. Where did Josh get his bow tuning / setup experience? Did he ever work in a shop?
Good question. No, I pretty much...
He should. He's there that often.
I spent a lot of time at the Fisherman's Warehouse in Columbus, and the professionals there, like, you know, Mark Minshaw and a bunch of other guys that work there, like Jeff Bigler. I mean, there's Tim. I mean, Steve. I mean, there's so many guys there that's helped me over the course of probably 3 or 4 years now. You know, I've always paid attention, and he
goes behind the counter.
I ask to go behind the counter so I can learn myself. So then it helps stimulate new ideas for me, and then I'm starting to learn more and more how to do everything just basically by myself. So that's kind of the next step for us, because we're planning on moving, you know, here in the near future, maybe out west, where I won't have access to a pro shop. But yeah, so all the tuning skills, everything like that, I do learn a lot of that from the pro shop, which if you don't have that, that doesn't really help you any. So another tip that I can give you is I learn from professionals that post their stuff online. T-Bone with Bone Collector is a great resource. That guy was like a world champion and an absolute stud archer. So, and he gives a ton of free information out there. I've learned a lot of really cool stuff from him. And then also Levi Morgan was another one of my go-to guys that delivers a lot of free content, clear, precise content, stuff that you can use and take to your pro shop and try out. So again, those two guys are great resources, in my opinion, to get tuning tips.
Bob_Roser. Tips and advice for building a strong network in the hunting industry, and what are your favorite business books? So the first half of that question, how to build a strong network in the hunting industry. I would say my biggest tip is to get your face in front of as many people, companies, brands, businesses, anyone that you can, as often as you can at all of the shows. And I know some are industry only. Find a way to get into them. It's going to cost some money to travel. It's going to cost money to get into the shows. It's going to cost money to stay lodging and hotels and the whole 9 yards. But it is definitely worth it if that is a goal of yours.
That's what we did. 2 years of just walking around and not asking them, what does it take to be sponsored? You know, we just walked around, and if we saw companies we used, say, hey, we love your stuff. Here's what we've done with it. You know, we've purchased it, we were raving fans of it, and just met people, you know, and then as you build your network, people will recognize you.
Yeah,
you know?
And I would say too, and we also have a full video that talks about how to get sponsored in the hunting industry that I also think a lot of tips can be taken away from. But I think another thing too, especially with social media and something that's effortless, is to just comment on people's things. Like once you comment enough, like people will start recognizing your Instagram handle and your name, and then that interaction can occur. So I think that's a really good way.
Good.
And your favorite business books? Oh man, there's so many. I would say I know what your number one is.
Well, I have 2 number ones. 5 Major Pieces of Life's Puzzle, very easy, Jim Rohn, very easy read, incredible read. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Oh my gosh, Dale Carnegie knocks that out of the park.
I would say every Jim Rohn book that we have ever listened to on audio is a really good recommendation. I really like, I've got my master's in marketing, so I really like marketing books. So I would say my 2 favorite marketing books are Guerrilla Marketing, and not Guerrilla like the animal, but Guerrilla like guerrilla warfare, and All Marketers Are Liars. Those are 2 really
What
good
a name
books.
for a book.
But I bought it. So, and then anything on Audible. I mean, as much as you can listen to, always try to be learning. You liked this one. How do you identify funnels in buck bedding areas in thick wooded areas? From Sean Holes.
Aerial maps are going to be your number one thing. Topo maps can help you identify maybe terrain a little bit better, but honestly, ground and pound. I mean, get down there during shed season and you will 100% figure out where those deer are traveling, and you'll be able to go through and see, you know, natural funnels. You'll see where they're bedding, because most of the time some snow will be on the ground, maybe late February, and you'll see all the beds very easily. So it's a really good tip for you if you are struggling and it's not giving it to you from the aerial perspective and you're struggling to figure out where these funnels are. Definitely go late season and you'll find them.
Okay, Courtney Huntress again. How do you stay relaxed when you see a deer you want to shoot, but your adrenaline is going insane, causing you to literally shake at the knees? I think we've all been there.
Oh yeah.
It's a feeling that I don't even think could ever be
actually
replicated.
I know the exact reason why. It's your
you're
part
not
of your brain called the amygdala.
We're not going into that. So.
Well, do you want to help her?
Okay, sure. Bore everyone for the next 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm not going to go into the scientific side of it, but one thing you can do is to prevent terrible shots is archers typically draw back, put the pin on the deer, and then come down onto the deer, or put the pin underneath and come up. What I would recommend, if you struggle with this situation where you can't control everything, you just miss, put the pin on the deer, then bring your finger around, pull the trigger. You know, make sure the pin's on it. Get your breathing under control. Deep breaths.
The pin.
Sorry, I had all that dental work done today.
Dental work done today.
So my face is like messed up.
Okay.
Did I spit on you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Vargas Insta Memories. Do you switch up your workout and eating regimen to prepare for a hunt, or do you train yourselves year round? I'm getting ready to go on my first one in 2018. I want to be physically prepared. I would say for us, our training doesn't really change based on...
Pretty much just work out whenever we can. Pretty
much just work out as often as we can. But I will say, if you are going on like a hiking or an out west or like a backpack or anything like that, and you're not doing cardio or any sort of cardiovascular or anything to help your heart and lungs, that would be a
Stairmaster.
The Stairmaster.
Watch podcasts, watch Netflix.
Watch us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Harrison.Brandt. Josh, what made you switch from recurve to compound?
Yeah, well, a lot of you may not know this, but I actually hunted with a homemade longbow for about 5 years. And I did switch to a compound. And the only reason is because I missed a 200 plus.
He sheds right there.
Yeah, I'll show you the deer I missed with a longbow. Look at this beast. Yeah, 22 yards. I missed this beast with a recurve. When it came to me that I no longer needed to hunt with a longbow, I wouldn't have cared if I killed this deer with a grenade launcher, let alone a recurve, because I would have been just as grateful to harvest this buck. So I didn't want to mess up that opportunity ever again. So for me, I had more confidence hunting with a compound. Now, I still enjoy recurve hunting and doing that from time to time, and I'll try to get a doe about every year. But yeah, it's one of those situations where we travel a lot, and for me to spend all the money, you know, that we do in New Zealand, for me to get within 25 yards of a red stag is really, really hard.
In a week.
In a week, you know, we only have a week to hunt, so I'd rather be able to get within 90 yards of something and be able to efficiently kill it. You know, that makes it a lot better than 25 yards.
Yeah. Well, that was all of our questions that we picked out.
So. Boom! There it is. I don't know how long this was.
Done.
Hopefully you guys didn't get bored to death. What do you think?
I got bored to death.
Great.
I'm kidding.
No, guys, seriously, if you watch this whole thing, we appreciate it. You know what we do? We try to take time out and answer all your guys' questions. I know we do our best to respond on Instagram for you guys, to every single person that comments. If you have questions, we always try to respond. But this was a kind of a way for us to be able to put it all in one place and for people to visit. And maybe these are common questions that a lot of people like to ask.
Yeah, that's kind of, we went through and picked like common things, like things that people were asking 3 or 4 or 5 times in that post, things that we see people ask quite often. So hopefully now people have a place to go to learn all these things.
Great. All right, guys. Well, if you haven't done this already, we have 65 hunts on YouTube. So just feel free to scroll around.
Subscribe
to our channel. I think you can do it right there. Over there. It's right here. It's right here. Yep, right there. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.